Think of a typical vending machine. It's programmed in a way that allows certain actions and transitions to take place based on the input. It is also deterministic in a way that if one action takes place, then it triggers another to happen. Say for example, you want a $2 chocolate bar from the vending machine, and all you've got is $1. It doesn't matter how many times you try, you're not going to be able to get that $2 chocolate bar. However, if you have $3 and you put that into the vending machine, then you'll get the chocolate bar and the appropriate balance. Now, a smart contract works in a similar way, in the sense that it operates based off of instructions that have been written in its code. A smart contract is a self-executing contract in which contents of the buyer-seller agreement are inscribed directly into lines of code. They can rely solely on information on the blockchain. For example, if the smart contract has been written to facilitate the exchange of two different tokens, or they can rely on information shared from an external data source called an oracle. These are useful when smart contracts are designed to use real-world events in their functions. We are going to take a deeper look at how these two processes apply to different use cases later in the video. How do smart contracts work? We would like to use an example of a popular crowdfunding platform called Kickstarter to explain this. In summary, Kickstarter is a third-party platform that allows teams that have an idea to go and create a project, set a funding goal, and then start collecting money from people who believe in the idea. If the project is successfully funded, then the project team expects Kickstarter to give them their money, and the expectations are the same for the supporters. However, if the project doesn't reach its goals, the supporters will expect a refund of their money. Now, because Kickstarter is between the product teams or the project teams and the supporters, there needs to be a sort of trust that Kickstarter will, number one, take care of their money and take the necessary action when the time comes. With smart contracts, we can create a similar system, but without needing a third party like Kickstarter. We can program a smart contract so that it holds all the received funds until a certain goal is reached within an allocated time period. Supporters of the project can then transfer their money to the smart contract. If the project is fully funded, then the money gets transferred to the product or project team. If the project fails to be fully funded within the allocated time, then the money gets transferred back to the supporters automatically. Now, because smart contracts are stored on the blockchain, this means that they are distributed. And with this technique, no one has control of the money. Now, a question that might be crossing your mind is, why should we trust smart contracts? The main reason is due to the fact that smart contracts are stored on the blockchain. This makes them inherit two key properties. One, being immutable, and two, being distributed. Being immutable means that once the smart contract is created, it cannot be changed, meaning that no one can go behind your back and tamper with the code of the contract. The downside to this is that in case the smart contract has a bug or is inefficient in any way, that's how it's going to be for the entirety of the contract. The solution to this would be to create a new smart contract and tell people to stop using the old one. Being distributed means that the output of the smart contract needs to be validated by everyone on the network, meaning that a single person cannot go and force the smart contract to release the funds or to take a particular action. Other people on the network will see this attempt and mark it as invalid. Let's take a look at the benefits of a smart contract. The first is accuracy, speed, and efficiency. To break that down, we take a look at the fact that contracts execute as soon as a condition is met. Then there is no paperwork because everything is digital and automated, and then there is no time spent correcting errors that happen usually when documentation is done by hand. The second benefit is trust and transparency due to the fact that smart contracts are tamper-proof. The third benefit is security, and this is because it's difficult to hack the blockchain because its transaction records are encrypted. The fourth benefit is savings. People who use smart contracts do not have to deal with intermediaries who come with their own cost in terms of time delays and fees paid. What are the limitations of smart contracts? One, they can't acquire information on real-world events alone, and this is by design. The second is using external data can jeopardize consensus, which is essential for security and decentralization. Now let's take a look at the use cases of smart contracts. These will range from simple to complex, and are almost infinite to some degree. We broke this down into three main categories: technical, legal, and economic use cases. Under technical use cases, smart contracts can be used for self-verification, self-execution, and tamper resistance. Under legal use cases, they can be used to map legal obligations into an automated process, and if implemented correctly, can ensure a higher degree of contractual security. Under the third and final use case, which is economic use cases, they can be used to ensure higher transparency, fewer intermediaries, and lower transaction costs. At least one of the above use cases can apply to the majority of the industries in the economy, such as banking, insurance, education, e-government, telecommunications, real estate, the music business, art, and so on. Now let's take a look at some real-world examples of how smart contracts can be used. The first is insurance. Let's use the example of a farmer who pays $1,000 on the premise that if temperatures in his region rise past a certain level for 5 days in a row, he'll get paid, say, $8,000. This ensures that if the farmer's crops die due to temperature changes, he will be compensated by the insurance because the smart contract will know exactly why they died and automatically make a payout. Now the question is, how does the smart contract know of the temperature changes? This is through the help of oracles, as we mentioned at the beginning of this video. These are helpful tools for smart contracts because they are a trusted source of real-world information for anything on the blockchain that needs it. Now the next question you might be asking is, where does the $8,000 come from? We would have to assume that the people who started the insurance company locked in some of their money into the smart contract, at least for the period that the farmer decided that they will pay this amount for the insurance. Then if the dry season gets done before the smart contract is triggered by the changes in the temperature, they would get back their $8,000 plus the farmer's $1,000 that he had put in to ensure his crops during the dry season. The second example is token switching. You can create a pool of money with two different tokens and then write a smart contract that allows traders to switch out one token for another. And with the increase of the volume in one token, you can increase the price of the other token, just so to maintain a steady value within the pool. This is exactly how decentralized exchanges work. That brings us to the end of this video. We hope that you've got a better understanding of what smart contracts are and how they work. If you found this video helpful, leave us a like, and if you want to receive notifications whenever we drop a new video, click the subscribe button. Until next time.